Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Muhammad Azad, the ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran to Indonesia. I would like to take this glorious moment, which is the 42nd anniversary of the victory of the Islamic Revolution of Iran and the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, to convey a few words to the esteemed government and the lovely people of Indonesia, as well as my colleagues in diplomatic community in Jakarta. Iran and Indonesia, as two influential countries located in the Western and Eastern Asian hemispheres, enjoy a very historical relations which roots back centuries ago. Ancient Iran, while the belief of Zoroastrianism was dominant, and Muslim Iran in the 1st century Hijriya or 780 to the 20th century had extensive trade ties and profound cultural relations with the people of the archipelago. The evidence of this historic closeness is clearly seen in the presence of more than 400 Persian vocabularies in Indonesian language, such as Pahlawan, Istana, and Dewan in the administrative sector, Mas, Kiai, Kusti, Sarban, and Burak in the religious field, Saudagar, Tajir, Nakhoda, Bandar, Shah Bandar, Gandom, Badam, Kurma, and Kismis in the trade sector. The Islamic Republic of Iran, as a rational state in its foreign policy, always prioritized decent, constructive, and equal interaction with the countries all over the world, hence resolving various regional problems, particularly in the Middle East region. Iran has so far provided various initiatives and proposals, including the Regional Dialogue, Non-Aggression Pacts, the Hormuz Peace Initiative or HOPE in October 2019. Iran is and will be ready to prioritize diplomacy and dialogue to create regional security involving regional countries, not the extra-regional parties, so as a strong, safe, stable, and advanced region free from regional or international hegemony to be witnessed. Diplomatic relations between Iran and Indonesia have existed since 1950 and so far. Despite various international upheavals, the relations between the two countries have grown in various political, economic, and cultural dimensions, culminating in His Excellency President Rouhani's visit to Indonesia in 2015 and His Excellency President Joko Widodo to Iran in 2016. The 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Iran and Indonesia ended in 2020. Yet we do hope that during the next 7 years, we would witness the expansion and enhancement of the relations between the two countries in various fields, as the 21st century is called the Asian century, that brings much progress and development to this continent. In this light, there is an Indonesian pantun. The old world is torn apart. The child cries asking for a ball on the cart. Don't give up, don't stay apart. We are here with a big heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Muhammad Qus Haikal Azad, Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good day to all of you. On behalf of the government and the people of the Republic of Indonesia, I wish to express my warmest congratulations to the government and the people of Iran on the 42nd anniversary of the victory of the Islamic Revolution of Iran. It is a great honor for me to be invited in this celebration and to share with my fellow Iranian brothers and sisters the happiness of this auspicious occasion. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our leaders have shown strong commitment to strengthen our bilateral relations, as we have just celebrated the 70th anniversary of our warm and good diplomatic relations last year. We have witnessed there were communication between leaders and foreign ministers of both countries and cooperation among ministers. I'm optimistic that Indonesia-Iran partnership will continue to grow fruitfully and mutually beneficial in all areas of cooperation. In the sphere of research and innovation, I am of the view that there have been existing programs and future opportunities for cooperation yet to be maintained and explored further. Iran is a renowned country for its advanced research, technology, and innovation in the region. In line with this, Indonesia has also grown up from a middle-income country becoming an upper-middle-income country. And as Indonesia has been also a member of G20, we keep continuing our national development even though in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic era. Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I recall there have been intensified interactions between our governments in the past decade in the fields of research and innovation. We have established Indonesia and Iran Joint Working Committee on Scientific and Technology, which serves as a media for expanding the bilateral cooperation. Moreover, this Joint Working Committee facilitates intergovernmental meetings in the field research, technology, and innovation. Furthermore, there is a notable development that I would like to mention. Both countries are trying to renew the agreement of research and innovation, and both countries are currently exploring collaboration opportunities in several areas, including health and medical research and innovation, nanotechnology, space technology, aircraft industries, alternative and renewable energy, referring to the former Minister of Research and Technology agreement with the Iranian Ministry of Science, Research and Technology. Couple months ago, I had a fruitful discussion with His Excellency Iranian Ambassador. In the future, the government of Indonesia would also, in synergy with the initiative of Iranian Ministry of Health, to open the collaboration with the Indonesian Ministry of Health. I've been informed that the technical arrangement between Indonesian Ministry of Health and its partner from the Iranian Ministry of Health and the Nanotechnology Innovation Council was conducted in 2019. I'm happy to inform the audience that both sides have agreed several focuses on health nanotechnology, biotechnology, and stem cell products development, in which they're pretty sure the Indonesian Ministry of Research and Technology, the National Research and Innovation Agency, could support it as well. All of the above facts is to prove that our Indonesian and Iranian bilateral cooperation have been growing stronger, and it is unhindered by the COVID-19 pandemic. Inshallah, I'm optimistic that there will be other areas of cooperation we can pursue together. We can surely work together to push for a stronger engagement between our scholars, researchers, scientists, innovators, and even our private sectors. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, finally, to conclude, allow me to express my sincere appreciation to His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Quss Haikal Azad for graciously hosting this special occasion and for his outstanding efforts in promoting bilateral relations between Indonesia and Iran. May Allah, the Almighty, continue to bestow peace, prosperity, and health to the people of Iran and Indonesia, especially in the midst of difficult times. I thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Iran and Indonesia. Iran-Indonesia relations have gone through three main historical periods so far. The first period was from 250 BC to the 20th century, which includes the historical and civilizational interactions between the two sides. Numerous historical findings show that Iranian merchants traveled to Indonesian archipelago via the Silk Road and the Spice Road, land and sea, thousands of years ago, and had many social and cultural interactions with the Indonesian people in addition to commercial activities. The result of this historical acquaintance is the social, cultural, religious similarities between Iran and Indonesia, and especially the existence of more than 400 Persian words in Indonesian language that are still used today, such as Sodagar, Tajir, Anggur, Badam, Gandum, Pahlawan, Bandar, and so far and so forth. The second period commenced from the independence of the Republic of Indonesia in 1945, when Iran formally recognized Republic of Indonesia, and the two countries began their diplomatic relations by opening their embassies in each other's capitals in 1950, and later in 1958 a treaty of amity between the two countries was concluded. The third period began in 1979, subsequent to the victory of the Islamic Revolution and the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which has continued to this day and had always moved toward the growth and development, and the two countries have always enjoyed a decent level of bilateral, regional, and international cooperation. The development of relations between Tehran and Jakarta places a very special importance on the Look-East policy of the Islamic Republic of Iran, rendering that cooperation with the Asian countries, namely Indonesia, falls on the priority agenda of the Islamic Republic of Iran. During the Iran-Indonesia relations, we have witnessed the exchange of delegations in all fields, culminating in His Excellency Dr. Hassan Rouhani's visit to Jakarta in 2015, and the Indonesian President, His Excellency Joko Widodo's visit to Tehran in 2016, where bilateral meetings between the high-ranking officials of the two countries have taken place. In the field of bilateral relations, during 70 years of diplomatic relations, the two countries have cooperated extensively in various political, economic, trade, cultural, advanced sciences, and technologies, which both countries have benefited the interest, and the two sides profited from each other's talents to achieve common interests. Similarly, the relations and cooperations between the two countries in international forums and international organizations have been very close and constructive. The historical closeness between Iran and Indonesia, along with Islam Rahmani existing in two countries, independent and active foreign policies, similarities of views on international development, and their support for the principles of multilateralism are considered as the assets of Iran and Indonesia. It is hoped that taking these valuable assets concomitant to the political determination of the governments of the two countries, we shall witness the development of bilateral relations between these two countries. Today, Iran and Indonesia are in a position to develop bilateral economic relations. Despite the existing problems, the expansion of bilateral economic relations is attainable due to the political will of the high-ranking officials and the private sectors. Iran, the fabulous land.
Today on Unexplored Iran, we're gonna talk about the 4 seasons of Iran. Iran is famous for its 4-season weather. It is considered as one of few countries in the world where visitors may experience all 4 seasons in a part of the country all year long. You can find 4 seasons at the same time throughout the year in every corner of the country. At the time that summer starts in the southern and northern parts of the country close to the bodies of water, that is the Caspian Sea in the north and Persian Gulf in the south, you will be able to travel to the west to ski in snowy mountainous regions. If you are planning to go to the west of the country and also the mountainous area, make sure you have a cardigan or a light jacket with you. If you are going to higher elevations, make sure you are prepared for a very cold temperature. It can get chilly even in the middle of August. Let's take a closer look at each of these seasons in Iran. The spring, starting from March till the end of May, is a great time to visit Iran. While traveling in a 4-season country extends the advantage of new experiences, varied sceneries and different activities associated with each season, yet spring remains the prime time to visit Iran. The pleasant climate and the green terrains in the diverse locations of Iran enhances the festive mood of celebrating spring season throughout the country. The weather slowly starts to get warmer after the winter. The nights might be slightly chilly, but the overall weather during the day is rather pleasant. Spring in Iran offers the most moderate weather with delicate, fresh landscapes complementing voyage in Iran. Next, summer. Starting from June till the end of August. Summer in Iran can get rather warm, so unless you can withstand a lot of heat, it is not a smart idea for you to travel to the country between June and August. There is little to no rain, and the desert areas get incredibly hot. It won't be possible for you to do a lot of outdoor sightseeing without facing the heat. However, this is a good time to visit the mountains. Moreover, you can enjoy high discounts, as this is a low season in Iran. Daytime temperatures in June range between 30 and 36 degrees Celsius. Foothills are cooler at about 25 degrees Celsius, while in Caspian coasts, temperature often reaches 38 degrees. August brings in some rain and warms up waters to perfectly comfortable temperatures. Next up, autumn. Starting from the month of September till late December. After the scorching summer heat, the temperature drops down drastically, and the weather becomes pleasant again around September. Autumn is a great time to plan your travel to Iran, especially to the central provinces such as Fars, Isfahan, Yazd, and Kerman. Eye-catching scenic nature, colorful trees, stunning landscapes, and mild weather, all the privileges of this magical season. If you are a nature lover and looking for really beautiful and colorful scenery, you should visit Golestan, Gilan, and Mazandaran provinces. It rains quite often in September and the temperatures are slightly lower than usual. Around October and November, you can enjoy the snow-covered mountains with temperatures ranging from 4 to 8 degrees. It's the perfect time to explore the deserts in the southern parts of Iran. And lastly, winter, which starts from November till the end of February. Winter, according to the Iranian calendar, begins with a traditional ceremony called Yalda. It is the first night of winter and the longest night of the year. In the northern and western regions of Iran, winter starts with snowfall and averages at 1 to 8 degrees Celsius. Thanks to the two major mountain ranges, the Zagros and Albas, stretched over the northern part of Iran, Iran has great sites for winter sports. Iran's winter season is a ski season, as are most of the places in the world. There might be some ski resorts open in other seasons too, though the southern coasts are usually warmer.
Human development. These indicators were used by the United Nations Development Programme to measure the quality of life of different nations of the world. Life expectancy, health, education system, and income. According to United Nations Human Development Report, in the period of 1979, the first year of the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran until 2016, this average, in general, has the first rank of the growth rate of the Human Development Index. The average growth of the Human Development Index in the world has been recorded between 0.69 to 0.73%. Iran's growth is more than twice of the global average and shows 1.6% annual development. But this shows the growth rate of the index. What about the shortcomings? To what extent Iran has succeeded in compensating for the shortcomings of the development index? According to the report of the Financial Tribune, which was published on May 20, 2016, Iran is ranked first in the world after South Korea in terms of compensating for the deficit of these indicators. Culture, media, and universities. How many new titles are published each year? This question has a separate answer in each country, and the result is a table that UNESCO publishes each year. The top 10 countries in this field are the powerful scientific countries in the world. The first place belongs to China, followed by the United States, Britain, Japan, Russia, Germany, India, and France. Iran ranks 9th in the list and Italy ranks 10th. Yet, Iran's cultural rank is not limited to books. Iran ranks 19th in the world in terms of the movie-going. 26 million people go to the movies every year. As well, in terms of the number of the film production, according to the statistics of 2011, Iran has the same rank in the field of the most productive cinemas in the world, with 76 movies per year. Likewise, in terms of the number of the film distribution companies, which is an important indicator in film distribution, according to the statistics of the year 2011, Iran ranked 10 in the world after the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, enjoying 94 companies, which is higher than Argentina and Switzerland. In terms of the number of international awards, Iran cinema has won almost all major international awards subsequent to the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And in terms of the audience acceptance of the 10 most popular movies in the history of Iranian cinema, 9 movies belong to the post-revolutionary period. The growth of press is one of the most important features of the Islamic Republic of Iran. In 1979, only 4 newspapers were published throughout the country. In 2018, the number of newspapers in the country reached 56. In 2012, the total number of publications was 2,635, of which 101 were published daily, 206 were published weekly, and 147 were published bi-weekly. In the field of education in 1979, as the Islamic Republic of Iran established, only 310,000 had academic education, and there were 170,000 students studying at universities. However, the number of university graduates at various stages increased nearly 18 times to 5,474,000, and the number of students increased 23.5 times to about 4 million. Naturally, the infrastructure for such development undeniably were the reason for the increase of the universities and the fields of study in the country. Prior to the establishment of the Islamic Republic, there were only 223 universities and higher educational centers in the country, but now there are more than 2,540 universities and higher educational centers in the country. The then 196 undergraduate majors are now 914, and the then 182 graduate majors have increased to 1,033 majors. And the 28 majors in a specialized doctoral field have now stands at 793. The faculty members of the universities were only 9,282 before the establishment of the Islamic Republic. However, after then, this number has reached 63,818. This growth has not only been quantitative, but the accumulation of this quantitative growth has also led to qualitative growth. In 2003, Iran ranked 19th in the world in terms of the growth of science production. Gaining these scientific honors, which also increase the quality of students at universities, is the product of the development of education infrastructure in the Islamic Republic of Iran. At the end of the day, it is noteworthy to mention that one of the main changes in Iranian universities is the significant presence of the females. Before the establishment of the Islamic Republic, only 23% of the country's student population were females. However, after then, the presence of female students augmented significantly, and finally, in 2006, for the first time, the population of university female students eye-catchingly surpassed that of male students and reached 63%. Scientific progress. At the Spanish University of Granada, a scientific ranking system has been developed that is able to rank the higher education institutions around the world based on the number of the practical article and the number of references to them by other articles and researches. This ranking is one of the newest and most comprehensive research ranking systems of universities and institutes in the world. According to this ranking, in 2017, the United States, China, the United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and France were among the top science-producing countries in the world. At the same time, the Islamic Republic of Iran was ranked 16th in the world with 54,388 scientific researchers. In the Middle East, Iran was ranked first. In the same year, Iran was ranked 17th in the world in terms of the number of citations to the scientific articles, but in the region, Iran was still ranked first. Another scientific ranking authority is the authoritative Scientific Journal of the New Scientist, which is published in the United Kingdom, the United States, and Australia. In the New Scientist 2010 report, Iran has the fastest scientific growth rate in the world, and according to this magazine, Iran was the world's leading country in the field of scientific production. The rate of scientific growth in Iran is 11 times the global average and has published statistics and documents related to this scientific growth in the database of the Web of Science. The most important parts of scientific development in Iran, according to these reports, have been aerospace, nuclear science, medical research, as well as the stem cells and the issue of genetic cloning. UNESCO, in its report on the scientific progress of the countries of the world called Towards 2030, the last edition, which was published in 2016, shows that Iran is the top country in terms of nanotechnology knowledge in the region and throughout the Islamic world. It is ranked 7th in the world after China, the United States, India, South Korea, Germany, and Japan. Interestingly enough, the most important part of this report is its conclusion. Concluding report on Iran, UNESCO observers point out the terrible system of sanctions imposed on Iran since 2011 not only did not slow down the scientific progress, but on the contrary, attracted the attentions of the Iranians to domestic markets and caused knowledge-based companies to be enhanced with local products. Public health. One of the contributing factors in improving the health of the people is the increase in the number of the doctors. In 1977, there were a total number of 14,700 physicians in the country, of whom 9,441 were general practitioners and 5,259 were specialist physicians. Due to the scarcity of doctors back then, the country had to import doctors from abroad. Yet after the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, the number of doctors increased to 27,122 by 2011. In terms of medical education, before the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, there were 7 medical schools in the country, which were embedded in other universities. After 1979, however, 40 independent universities of medical science have been established to train students in various fields related to the healthcare throughout the country. Unlike Pahlavi era, Iran ranks first in the West Asia in terms of the number of ophthalmologists and neurologists. In terms of the number of beds or patient admission capacity before 1979, the total bed numbers was 56,000. However, by 2011, this capacity has reached 103,365 beds. In terms of pharmacy, before the revolution, only 25% of the country's pharmaceutical needs were produced domestically, and the remaining 75% was imported. After the establishment of the Islamic Republic, pharmacy also grew drastically, and now 95% of the medications needed by the country are produced domestically, and only 5% of very special medications are imported. Insurance companies have also increased from 12 companies to 28 companies, and the health insurance coverage, which was only 1.8 million in 1977, has increased more than 36 times since the establishment of the Islamic Republic and has reached 65 millions. Industry. Nowadays, Iran is making progress in various fields of industry and mining. According to the US Geological Survey and the British Geological Survey, Iran is the world's largest producer of turquoise and the world's third largest producer of gypsum. Iran is also the third largest producer of decorative as well as the building stones in the world. In iron production, Iran ranks 8th in the world, and in terms of the copper production, Iran is the 12th largest producer of copper in the world. Iran also ranks 14th in the world in the production of the zinc. The strategic product of the steel is one of the products known in the world as the mother industry. After the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, steel production in Iran sizably increased and reached an astonishing 18 times the world average. Today, Iran is the 13th largest steel producer in the world. Another basic industry for building civil infrastructure in any country is the cement industry. In this regard, Iran has become the 8th largest producer of cement in the world in 2018, with the amazing progress in the years after the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, according to the statistics of the World Cement Guide. Iran has also made unprecedented progress in the aluminium production. In the industrial world, after iron, aluminium is known as the most widely used metal in the world. In 2014, Iran was the 19th largest producer of aluminium. Also, Iran is among the 26 countries producing aluminium oxide in the world. Knowledge-based industries are new technologies that are built on the basis of new sciences and are, in fact, the future of technology development in the world. One of these technologies is space technology. After the establishment of the Islamic Republic, with the extensive work of the country's aerospace scientists, Iran is among the 11 countries with indigenous satellite launch technology. As well, Iran is among the 6 countries that have successfully launched the living being to the space and returned them to the Earth. Another area of knowledge-based industry in which Iran is a leader is the nuclear industry. In this industry, which shapes the energy future of the world and is used in other fields such as medicine, agriculture, and industry, Iran is the 14th country in the world to have acquired this technology with the power of domestic scientists and experts, and now Iran enjoys the full nuclear cycle. Another area of knowledge-based industry is the field of stem cells. Stem cells are used to produce organs and genetically clone organisms. Iranian specialists are among the pioneers in the field of stem cells in the world. At the global level, Iran ranks 2nd after the United States in the development and research of stem cells knowledge. Also, in 2018, Iran was ranked 13th in the world and 1st place in the region in terms of biotechnology products. Biotechnology products includes technological products that are developed through biology and the living organisms. In addition to these 3 main areas of knowledge-based industries, there are other areas in which Iranian scientists are progressing. In the nanotechnology industry, Iran ranks 6th in the world and in the future will be one of the leading countries in the field of nanotechnology. These developments are the product of Iran's scientific growth, which has been ranked 1st in the world in terms of scientific growth since 1995. In the fields of computer, mathematics, and medicine, Iran is among the top 20 countries in the world, and these developments are changing the face of industry in Iran. Economy. GDP is one of the important indicators for evaluating and ranking countries economically. Another indicator is purchasing power parity. World Bank statistics were published in 2016, in which the top 5 ranked countries were China, the United States, India, Japan, and Germany. In these statistics, however, Iran's ranking has not changed, and Iran stood as the 18th strongest economy in the world. This statistic should be taken into account while Iran, unlike all those countries, is not in a normal economic situation, but an economic war and sanctions are being waged by the West against Iran. Energy and mineral resources. According to the International Energy Agency, the Islamic Republic of Iran has been ranked second in the world in terms of energy development. A comparison of electricity situation in Iran before and after the establishment of the Islamic Republic can shed light on the dimensions of this change. In the years before the revolution, only 4,350 villages across the country had electricity. After then, however, in an unprecedented event, 99% of the rural population received electricity in 52,520 villages, a number that was 12 times more than the whole pre-establishment of the Islamic Republic period. It was also the first time that all Iranian cities had access to electricity. Indubitably, everything is not just electricity. The same was true of natural gas supply. Before the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, only 50,000 houses in all cities of Iran had natural gas. But in the years after the revolution, gas supply increased from 50,000 households to 14 million households, a 280-fold increase. It was also the first time that natural gas was supplied to villages, and now more than 10,000 villages are enjoying natural gas. Iran has also been able to utilize natural gas as a clean car fuel, and in this way protects the environment and the health of its citizens. In 2001, Iran, with 2.8 million gas-powered vehicles, was ranked first in the world's fleet of gas-powered vehicles, and is still one of the major countries in the field of gas-powered vehicles. Defense power. To rank the world's military power, the Global Firepower site annually provides a valid ranking that is the benchmark for the country's military rankings. The indicators for this ranking are manpower, natural resources, logistic resources, financial resources, geography, navy, land force, and air power. These are the 8 main indicators of a country's military power. The statistical data of this site among 136 countries in 2018 show that Iran is the 13th military power in the world. Iran's defense budget in 2019 was $6 billion, which shows the defensive strategy of Islamic Republic of Iran compared to the tens of billions of dollars spent by other countries in the region. It is noteworthy to mention that Iran's defensive industry is completely indigenous and has defended the Islamic Republic of Iran for 42 years with a seventh of the military budget of the countries in the region, which sometimes reaches up to $70 billion.